right, let's sync up.
You know how we do this, right, Murder?
This is the clap, right?
It's the clap. We have
the episode will also be reflected in my glasses if that helps.
Okay. that actually might help a lot.
Yeah, so you'll probably be good.
All right, here's the important question. Can you do the anime glasses thing?
Yes, I was just about to say.
I gotta come to Dashy's defense really quick. Last week, there was a pre-moment, like, before the Genlock footage that shows, like, an advertisement for Gus. Like, it's like a like, holiday advertisement from Rooster Teeth. And so her reaction was desynced with you guys for, like, that whole episode. And I was like, no! Because she was like, she asked you guys, and I don't know if that's what you guys get in your file.
Interesting.
Interesting. Oh, no, my file doesn't have that...
Right. So should I just do the basic opener then? Just get us in?
Buy your book.
Buy my book. Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's React for RWBY. Today we have a special guest star with us, or two of our regular co-hosts are not with us today.
Damn it, Britt.
This was Ninja's idea. And now he's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Get well soon.
But we do have MurderofBirds with us today.
Hello.
Who has already seen the episode.
Yes.
But he's decided to join us for the discussion and reaction. We actually have a whole host of discussion itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
That we've already done before this. That'll probably be in a different video.
It'll definitely be in a different video.
You get to hear about the weird dreams I had. But for now, let's just jump right into the episode. I'm excited to see it. I hear there's a house involved.
Oh, the infamous house.
This is the first episode of Volume 6 that I have zero spoilers about.
Yeah.
For every other episode, either somebody let something slip in my Twitter mentions, or I saw, like, some random frames of, like, whatever teaser Rooster Teeth releases in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
This is the first one that I'm like, I got no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I avoid those like the plague. Like, people talk about, like, the RWBY Rewind clips and Twitter clips. I try to avoid all of that. And then also, this is the second half of the show, so... nothing from the intro or the trailer is going to be, like, featured at this point, so...
Oh, yeah.
At this point, we're all in the dark for the most part.
Yeah.
This is also episode 8, even though that meme is a little dead.
All right, but let's just jump into it.
And Floof is here, just so I don't forget to put him in the beginning thing and give him a title name. Say something.
Hey. Yes.
There. Okay.
Hi, Max.
Okay. 3,
there we go.
2, 1, go.
That's how the war begins.
Here we go.
Oh no, Smoky Boys.
All right. Also, there were no subtitles this week?
Doesn't look like it.
There aren't?
No.
They probably fired their subtitle guy.
Oh yeah, subtitles are awful.
They're desynced by
They're up by like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, so there's like, are they fighting nanobots?
Baby!
They look like touch comes from
No, they're
not Metal Gear Solid. Ghost in the Shell.
I said that in my reaction. Yeah. That's what it reminds me of.
They need to stop stealing from that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the falling thing. That really ticks me off.
Stealing from many people is
Makoto
research.
Kusanagi has gotten the short end of the stick in recent years thanks to American companies.
I should redo my intro.
I usually sing this intro in my reaction, so
it doesn't get hit by the copyright.
Oh no! I just sing it because I really like this song, and this is probably my favorite intro of like all the volumes. I really like this one. I can't wait for the soundtrack to come out so I can hear the full version.
Yeah.
Really? Because my favorite is still a tie between This'll Be the Day and what was the second one?
Time to Say Goodbye.
Time to Say Goodbye.
Yeah.
Both of those were fantastic.
2 might be my favorite intro song. Volume 2.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's favorites. Like, I think there was a poll at some point, and yeah, like a lot of people, I think at the time, like Volume 1 through 3, people loved 2 the most and disliked 3 the most.
I think that's how it is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still, I don't know which I like least, which is Volume 3 or Volume 5. When it comes down to the opening.
Yeah.
Volume 4, I just kind of think is just sort of there.
Yeah. Thanks to Floof, the Volume 5 intro is only his intro edit.
Yeah.
Like,
those are hilarious. I remember I saw his Volume 4 and I was like choking on like my drink while I was watching it. It was so funny.
Floof, did you do a Volume 6 intro edit?
I already did it. I did it in the first day
it was
came
in the
out.
episode 2 reaction.
All right, here we go.
So. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Okay, here we go.
You didn't even hear us out. The Mistral Atlas border is
I
closed.
don't have eyes.
Have a good day. A good day.
Or a chin.
General Ironwood.
Oh, he does. They do have chins.
General Ironwood.
Jimmy.
Approach.
Also, shout out to the Golden Gate Bridge behind them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is, yeah.
It just is the Golden Gate Bridge, but painted white.
Yeah. They're also
these
looking
guys?
at, like, her knees.
Yeah, they are.
They're the fucking crows from Hat in Time.
If she's your friend, then maybe she.
Oh,
will
RWBY.
I wouldn't
No.
exactly call us friends.
Yeah.
Enemies? That's the one.
God damn it, Maria.
You bring outside cashews on one flight, and suddenly you're placed on the additional screening list for life.
I love the expressions.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Well, let's not give up hope yet. Maybe she's dead.
Yeah, you can't, I mean, maybe she's like,
Oh god,
I mean,
Maria
I
is
love
awesome.
Maria's. Yeah, I fucking love her
from a
so
real
much.
life perspective, you really cannot bring nuts on a plane.
Yeah.
Like from customs and everything like that.
Oh god.
Is that Farquad?
Oh god, it is, isn't it?
She devil.
Oh, you can come up with something stronger than that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would love to, like, you know, in Volume 4 they had Tyrion say bitch, and then in Volume 6 they just have this girl say cunt.
Oh god.
And I told you we wouldn't rest until you let us through!
Nice to see you again as well.
Fucking Ren.
Are clearly incapable of comprehending the importance of our mission here in Argus.
They're Huds.
That relay tower, the very safety of Argus, are all gifts from the glorious kingdom of Atlas.
Oh, boy.
Only I have the wit and tenacity for such a task.
Such wit. Such tenacity.
Or maybe Atlas just wanted to get you as far from the kingdom as possible. We know your kingdom had nothing to do with the fall of Beacon. We were there.
What? What did they do?
Nothing to do.
They were in charge of security.
Atlas will prevail.
Do you guys seriously have to do that? The kingdom will not be responsible for her friends of questionable character.
Oh, racism!
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be happy to see more race.
Oh, my God.
This volume has been so good with world building. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Oh, that was dope. That whole spiel was like,
I told you we wouldn't leave your side for a second.
and I lied. Shoves her in the gate.
No. All right, here's the plan. We all hide in crates and say we're your luggage.
Oh god. No, are they gonna mail themselves there?
We mail ourselves there.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. That would be fucking amazing.
The masters of foreshadowing.
I mean, we've got Ozpin with us. He usually knows what to
Yikes.
do.
Oh.
Yep.
What is it?
Here it comes.
That was a nice wall.
That's not true. Really? Because it sure does sound like it.
Angry Nora? Ooh.
If Salem can't be killed, then how are we supposed to win this?
You throw her into the maiden vault and lock the door.
That's a good idea.
Leave her there.
No, but we're not the bad guys here. Are we sure about that?
Yeah, how do you know?
He's in your head, isn't he?
Wow, Jean is actually the best character.
Did you already know about this?
He didn't know any of it.
How much longer can we
Now
even
kiss.
trust him?
Now kiss.
What if we've been talking to that liar this whole time?
John!
Oh shit.
I really like the piano of that scene. The music.
Yeah. Oh man. Jean said everything I've been thinking this whole time.
I think it would be best if we had some time to ourselves.
Me and Nora are going to go hate fuck no.
Yeah. That couldn't have been better unless he did the finger quotes.
They're gonna have a 3-way.
Does anyone have a tie to put on the doorknob?
Don't walk in if you don't want to be in the splash zone.
Oh boy.
Butterflies.
Come on.
Life is strange.
Oh, where are you?
No, Ruby, the last time
You know,
The others went to get food for tonight.
why not go with them?
we couldn't model the store.
You don't give yourself enough credit.
Oh, thanks.
That wasn't a compliment. How about we discuss those eyes of yours?
Wow.
10 out
Yeah.
of 10. 10 out of 10.
Yay.
At the fall of Beacon, I turned a giant wyvern into stone.
Oh boy.
Hey, she said wyvern.
Yeah, I know, right?
10 out of 10.
But it's a grim dragon.
If I already knew everything, I wouldn't be asking for help.
Yelling.
That wasn't a yell.
I scored higher on the license exam than any other huntsman.
There's a licensing exam.
I owe my life to my training and my semblance. At the end of the day, those are still the most powerful tools.
What
What is your semblance?
Yeah.
My training and secret ability to turn grim to stone, or blind them, or vaporize them.
So, how do I laser beam monsters with my eyeballs?
I want you to think of all the times you've
That was
triggered your powers.
Some reach. Oh.
Unlocking a semblance?
It's emotional, but more focused than that. Think.
Like the red like roses in the background.
I know, it's so nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
His eyes.
What? No, he flashed.
His eyes. His humongous dragon-shaped eyes.
I used it during our battle at Haven. It reacted to Cinder.
Where the giant Grim was there.
No, she said Haven.
Oh, Haven, right.
Yeah, she said Haven.
It's Oscar. He's missing.
Good.
All right. That's cool.
Good riddance.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yes, I did. I liked it because they also had notes of this will be the day in there.
Yeah.
Tom is going to have fun with this episode score. He's the one that really loves the music, the score music, I should say. So I think he's gonna have a good time with it. So that's some very nice leitmotif.
I'm not always able to pick it up, but when I do, it's like I really appreciate it. And I was like, holy shit, that's a throwback.
Leitmotif is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, there's the Golden Gate Bridge.
In shows is the idea of using character themes and readapting them for different purposes. So using that as a more somber, slower piece instead of gearing up for a hyper energetic piece, it works really well. Now, of course, the opening with the base commander, did we get her name? Aside from Witch?
Yeah, her name is Caroline Cordovin.
Oh, okay.
And she's voiced by this one's for you, Tom. She's voiced by Mela Lee, which I guess she has. I looked her up earlier. I haven't seen any of the anime that she's voice acted in. Hold on, Mela Lee. Actually, she voices a character in Hunter x Hunter.
I've not seen Hunter x Hunter, which I still to this day
that's my favorite anime of all time.
Still to this day with my fixing RWBY people are like, you just ripped off Nen from Hunter x Hunter for Aura, and I'm like, I've not seen the show.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter has like a crazy complex, like really sophisticated power system. It's really, really good. Okay, so she's voiced in Durarara. She's voiced in Fate Stay Night.
Who was in Fate Stay Night?
Rin Tosaka. I think that's how you say that.
Okay.
I haven't. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. She's in Erased, Mob Psycho 100, Berserk, the 2016 series. Yeah, so she's done a bunch of work, and then Kyle Phillips voiced the two guards, which is Kyle Phillips. Is he? I want to say he's at Rooster Teeth. I'm not sure if that's. Is that backward? Is that the guy? I know there's a Kyle. I'm backwards compatible with Miles, but I don't know his last name, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Hot take. Cordova is totally Neo's mother. Just because they're both short and have spiky hair.
I thought the working theory was that Neo was from the farm.
Yeah.
I mean, that was never my initial theory.
Yeah, that was a theory that I ran with. That I mean, it's not confirmed, but it's not. I'm still, like, you mentioned it in the reaction last week, Raymond, and I hope it's like I'm still holding on to it. Like, if Cinder and Neo are trailing Team RWBY, that they'll eventually go there, and Neo will have we'll have a reaction to that place if that's where she's from.
Oh yeah. I'm so hoping, like, if that is the case, like, it's like when people started positing that theory, I'm like, okay, and
Yeah,
if that comes into play, because there was a lot about that farm we don't know
yeah.
more
The picture
about.
was what I was holding on to, because I was like, that redheaded kid could literally be Roman Torchwick as a boy.
Or, hell, I was just saying that it could have been like the father could have been Roman
even
Torchwick
him.
for all we know. Like, we don't know how old that photograph is. It could have only been a couple of months old, a couple of years.
That's true.
People were right. They are sitting in the house, but it's only briefly. We have like changes of venue.
We get to sit inside the house for a little bit, and then we get to go sit outside the house for a little bit. I like the scene inside the house.
Yeah.
I like that scene a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, John was just saying all the stuff I've been saying.
I liked it because John was punching the walls, and I think that was like the frustration of, I don't want to be in this room again. I don't want to be in any rooms again. I'm going to break the rooms.
Yeah. The guard, the commander lady, her last name is Cordovan. And I guess some people are already putting like a reference to that being like a shoemaker, because I guess shell cordovan is a type of leather used in shoes. And like Nora says like, oh yeah, well your military base looks like a giant boot. So people are like putting that together right now.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
What was the nursery rhyme about a woman living in a boot or a shoe?
Oh yeah. With her kid, I don't remember that. I know it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, she had like a dozen
it?
kids, and they lived in a boat.
Yeah.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe by Mother Goose. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread, and whipped them all soundly and put them to bed.
There you go.
So maybe that's the reference they're going for. I just remember that I hated her because there was a Shrek video game that I played years ago that was garbage. It was a terrible game. But the most annoying part was that one of the quest givers was the lady who lived in a shoe. And, like, I couldn't complete her quest. It was, like, broken. And I just couldn't beat it. And it frustrated the hell out of me. And I had no idea what to do. Except sit there and fart, because that was literally a power you had as a Shrek kid.
Oh yeah, then the Nabuk guards too. Yeah, I think it is like a shoe reference, because those guards are called new buck guards, and that's also a type of leather used for making boots.
I mean, when you look at their hats, I could easily see the hats being shoehorns.
Yeah. I love references.
I enjoyed that entire opening. That was so goofy and fun, but at the same time, it sets up so much world building. It's so cool with that.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got your racism.
Yeah. I hope no one takes that the wrong way.
About time.
I seriously don't. I mean, for the record, I do not condone, in real life, I do not condone racism of any kind. In fiction, when it's fitting,
Fictional racism only, guys.
I had a few other jokes I was tempted to make about her, about the way she was acting, but I'm pretty sure those would be hard demonetizations.
Oh boy. I thought it was going to be Winter, especially when they were like, we'll bring her, and like Winter's Ironwood's like right hand.
Yeah, I had a sneaking suspicion for a second or two.
Well, remember what Raven said.
Sweet, I'll win RWBY bingo now.
No, remember what Raven said? You guys remember what Raven said back in Volume 5, right?
That there were no Atlas personnel outside of the borders.
Right. Well, no, in specific, Winter Schnee had returned back to Atlas.
Yeah.
So I think like she was well enough known.
Yeah, I mean, I could have easily seen them been like, it's like, well, you're already in Mistral. Instead of you coming all the way back home, just go and, stand guard at the military base at the coast, Which,
I mean, they've had her character modeled since the beginning of Volume 5, and they still haven't used it, which...
Yeah, the character short, Weiss.
Do you think that's how they're going to get out of this? Do you think that they're going to try and call in Winter to get Weiss home? Or get everyone home to Atlas?
I don't think so. Like, I don't think they can communicate that far at this point.
I mean, Crow sent the letter at the beginning of this volume.
Oh, yeah. So depending on if they, I mean, at this point, that letter's probably going to get to them before they do. At this point.
Oh yeah, I mean they fucking fell off the train.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it could be like the U.S. Post Office and it just never arrives. But I mean,
yeah, depending on how long it takes. At this point, I think. How much time has passed since that episode? A couple weeks, I think. At this point,
The first episode, you mean?
yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think it's been a couple weeks. I think it's been.
I want to say
Well, it's at least a week.
at least a week.
Well,
if
actually,
not.
no, because that's from Cinder's. Yeah.
6 to 8 months.
Why do you think a week?
Well, it's been 2 weeks since. Well, I'm thinking about that now. Like, I thought an additional week because it's like while Cinder and Neo are doing their thing, like Team RWBY's doing their thing, and a week passed between. Like, again, I can't calculate a week between the week that Cinder had to wait for the information from Little Miss, but based on everything that Team RWBY's been doing.
Well, I mean, that whole Cinder thing could have happened in the time between, the fall of Haven and going to the train station, which was that 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think a lot less time passed since,
Like a few days? Like since the train, because like they got on the train and then they spent the night at Brunswick.
I only think they spent one night at Brunswick, and I don't think they slept in the woods at all.
Yeah.
I think it's only been like 2 days since the train cars got separated.
Okay. Yeah, so it's gonna take.
I mean, I could be wrong, but trying to keep track of the timeline in RWBY is a.
Yeah, it's so infuriating at times because it's like a week is past. So like during the week, like I don't know, like my brain's breaking right now. I'm gonna stop.
I mean, I really appreciate Maria finally sitting down and trying to explain Silver Eyes. I mean, just because, A, we haven't gotten an explanation for that kind of stuff, and just to have that kind of voice of confidence, and the fact that not even the people that know about it know everything about it, and it's kind of nice that
everything about it, yeah.
Even she was piecing together bits and pieces of the power from the vision.
The past.
Even though their observation was wrong, it wasn't his eyes, he literally flashed white himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was a god, it wasn't just his eyes. I mean, it would have made just as much sense to say, oh, his cloaca flashed.
Well, that also brings in a question, too, then, because this is what I thought immediately after was so, like, the God of Darkness, like, wiped out all of humanity and left Salem, and then they both, like, left. They both left Remnant, and over time, I guess, evolution took its course, and humanity's back. But then that would mean that the God of Light had to, at some point, bestowed the next, like he had to have come back to give the blessing of the Silver Eyes. Like,
I mean,
like, you know what I mean? Like, because then it's like, how, if he created the Silver Eyes, how does this generation, like, how did the next generation of humanity?
It could have been Osmond.
How much stock are we putting in the because we saw in episode 3, we saw that Tech Ozpin's kids had silver eyes.
Yes.
Are we like...
That was after the eradication, so it's like...
Yeah. I mean, are we just thinking these are all, like, direct descendants of Ozpin? Like, all of his kids and all their kids and all their kids and their kids?
I don't know, because, like, he could have just popped into that guy's head, and those kids were already there.
Possible.
Yeah, so basically the next big question we need to concern ourselves with going forward is the origin point for the Silver Eyes.
Yeah.
That's the next big lore point I think we need expounded upon. I think for now we're good, but I think if we we need more explanation as to where it came from. Probably next volume, I would say.
Because it didn't make it always kind of bothered me. Like we got that in volume 4. We got the God of Light and Darkness, like World of Remnant style origin story, and like I found it so weird that the God of Darkness made his own personal grim creation, and then both of them made humanity, and the God of Light didn't make anything on his own, and it was just like, oh, okay, and then they leave the world and the grim just stay there, and I'm just like, that's completely like an imbalance right there. So he eventually like leaves behind, like, okay, I'm gonna throw this little silver-eyed, the silver-eyed trait.
I'm just gonna throw this little silver-eyed trollop in there and see how it goes. It'll be funny, trust me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't tell his brother either. Probably was just like, okay, like humanity's fucked without my help at this point because the Grimm are staying and we're leaving. So
yeah,
this will help you out a bit.
the no humanity that's left is totally fucked without the Grimm.
Well, you knew that they'd come back.
I am really disappointed with how they've handled religion in this show. I mean, like, I've gone on record with that a lot. But, like, the idea that they have never had an established religion before this was like, no, not many people believe in religion these days. And I'm not really sure if that was supposed to be, like, sort of a fourth wall comment on our reality, too, when it's patently false.
Yeah.
I mean, they live in Texas. I don't know why they would think that at all.
Maybe it's just wishful thinking on their part.
But they do live in Austin. So, I mean, it could be more accurate in Austin. But the idea of, you have all these different characters from multiple different backgrounds that have radically different personalities and radically different philosophies on things, or at least notably different philosophies in some regards. None of them have their own personal religion or belief, and because of that, when you finally literally have a magical genie telling you flat out that and showing you that gods exist, we don't have anyone coming into conflict with that, and that disappoints me. Like, it would be great if someone actually believed, hey, I'm a monotheist. I believe in a singular God doing all these crazy things. I believe in the sweet baby Jesus. And then all of a sudden, there are these two assholes that created everything, and they've already wiped humanity once, and you're just like, oh.
I mean,
like I would love to see that kind of shit.
I'm pretty sure if that became public knowledge, that would shake those foundations, but I don't think any of the characters, like Team RWBY, I don't think any of them were ever, like, religious for that to conflict with their beliefs.
Well, no, that's what I mean, is that, like the fact that religion plays a role now makes the fact that it never played a role before all that more disjointing. That no one ever mentioned that they had a faith of some sort. The only thing we got was John saying, oh God, in a comedic reaction moment, which could have just been a fourth wall type deal. So it's like, it frustrates me that how important gods have become as opposed to how important religion should have been. That was one of my biggest gripes with Volume 4, is it kind of hand-waved away any explanation for why there was no religion. Just like,
No, I hear you.
all this stuff about, like, I mean, in RWBY, hardly anything is known by the public.
Yeah, that's true.
Which has always been a big problem with me.
Yeah, so, like, the public must be blind, deaf, and stupid. I mean, I think they took the definition of, from Men in Black. One of my favorite quotes from Men in Black is that a person is smart, people are stupid. I've come back to it multiple times. I think they took that a little too literally. Where the entire population just does not have concept of, like, existence outside their small bubbles of life. When they have the internet, they literally have the internet. They would have exposure to other ideas, populations, and concepts. So that's a little bit of frustration. Other than that, though, like, I don't really have much to talk about in this episode. It was a good episode, fantastic episode, even when it comes down to character. At least we got a lot of colorful character out of this.
Yeah. Another thing that I liked about it was like, I was anticipating it because I saw the thumbnail before I watched the episode. So it showed, like, an angry Jean looking down at Oscar, and I was like, I like that we're seeing the response from Team Juniper, especially, like, right, like, Nora's upset, which is really crazy to see because I don't think we've ever seen her angry. And then you have Jean, who's had this chip on his shoulder for a while. Like, he's, because, like, his teammate died, and I personally think that that's crazy too, because Ozpin had to tell Pyrrha a fraction of the truth. Right? She didn't know about Salem, she didn't know about the relics, she didn't know about the gods or anything like that. She only knew, like, there's this magic out there, and if the bad people get it, bad things are gonna happen. And she's like, I'll do it. And, like, that...
There was no warning of any other consequence besides that. It was just, like...
That drove her down a different path that eventually led to her dying. And then, like, Jean has this chip on his shoulder that, in Volume 4, like, when they were around the campfire, he was like, oh, so you guys forced it on her. So he's always had, like, this chip on his shoulder, and I always was, I remember during Volume 5, when, like, Oscar and Ozpin came back into the picture, a lot of people were like, oh, well, why was Jean mad then, but he's not mad now?
In Volume 5?
Yeah.
They think Jean wasn't mad in Volume 5?
Well, he was, but it was like, he wasn't, like, confronting Ozpin about it. It was just, like, he was just there, like, not doing, like, passively.
He was angry and pouty. He was being, like, passive-aggressive.
Yeah. And, like, now he has more of a reason, like, he actually, like, put his hands on the kid, and he was like, oh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, I like that that's happening, and I like that Team Juniper had, like, their own moment, because this is super internal for them. Like, it's like, we trusted this guy and we gave him the benefit of the doubt, and like straight up
Ren is going off to dwell on it a little bit, and we don't know if he's on his own or if he's like with Nora or anything. It would be nice if next episode we saw a little bit of conversation between him and Nora. I would love a little aside with those two.
I want it, like, they did it in the first episode and they did it in the second episode where they did, like, they give you a little bit of a flashback, and then, well, in the second episode, they gave you, like, a flashback of, like, Team RWBY at the old house before the crash, and then, like, that kind of gets you up to speed. I would have loved to see what Team Juniper was up to while Team RWBY was like at Brunswick, like when they first got into the city, their first interactions with the military base, Jean seeing his sister for the first time since the fall of Beacon, and just kind of like settling and touching base and all that. Like,
I mean, probably Jean seeing his sister for the first time since he went to Beacon.
Yeah, that too. Yep.
I disagree seeing that.
There we go.
That bit. I feel like when you're observing it from a pacing perspective, I think that would have thrown a huge wrench into things. I think right now they're keeping the pacing
more of
going
like
just
wishful
fine.
thinking for sure.
Yeah, like I would love if they had the time in production to do like mini episodes where like you get like little 5-minute snippets of what other characters are doing in other places. That would be a really cute, fun idea to have where you just.
World of Remnants 2.0.
Yeah. World of Remnant, the mundane side. I don't know. Are you talking about like plot relevant chibi?
Yeah, I guess.
I would say not plot relevant, just world building relevant. Just sort of like letting the characters breathe and relax with what's going on around them, and just living in this world peaceably for a brief period. Like I would love to see just like average life in Remnant for 1 second. We don't really see that very much.
I don't know. I feel like that's what like the first 3 volumes should have been. Like, and I feel like if they were going to do that,
I know.
Like
I know. It's almost like that's how I wrote it.
Because volume 6 has the hard task of covering for the first 5 volumes, as well as being the continuation to the story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They have their like the world's in danger, and that's the direction they decided to go. And now they should have given us the reasons to care about the world and then put it in danger. But they kind of, I don't know, they didn't know how to, or they didn't think they had to, or they thought they did in the first volumes, you know, and now they have to actually deliver on all that stuff. And they've been doing a much better job than they honestly have any right to do. Like the first episode, back with Dee and what's his name? Dee and Dudley?
Dee and Dudley, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh wow, these are like guys who
cannon fodder.
Well, I mean, sort of, but they had a job.
Yeah.
They were the Argus Limited's like private huntsman, and it's just like, yeah, see, like, and they're like, you know, not paid well enough apparently.
Yeah, they gotta like, hey, give us a few extra bucks and we'll keep you extra safe.
Yeah, because they have to go scam on people, and it's just like, this is stuff that like really should have been in the whole time. Why didn't the boat have its own private huntsman?
I keep coming back to this of we have a co-director, Connor Pickens, and like I said, he's the big, out of all the direction and co-direction and writing cast, he's the only big change they made this volume. So I am genuinely wondering how much of he was involved in this, because it feels to me like, I mean, my suspicion is that he's the one that's really like doing the refinement process. He's doing what I would like to do, which is sit there and be like, "Hey, okay, you have some good ideas here. Let's flesh them out a little bit more."
Yeah, Miles also mentioned that they take like the drafts that they have and they run them around a bunch of different people, to kind of go over, like for like Issa Badiola, she used to do RWBY Rewind last year, but she doesn't do it now because she's part of that process of revising and looking over the script and stuff like that, and they mentioned that.
God, do you think that that's the reason that Volume 5 was so bad? Because she also read all the Volume 4 and 3 scripts before they finalized them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like
Well, they have more people on hand. I don't think it's. I think back in the early days, I think it was very well just like Monty, Miles, and Carrie, and then obviously Miles and Carrie, and everybody else was just doing their part on that end. So I don't know how involved other people were besides the 2 writers, but it's very clear that there's a branch of people looking over the script and refining it.
Yeah, I mean, like, to all the writers out there, never underestimate the power of a single person's opinion. If someone tells you, hey, this doesn't feel right, or hey, this doesn't work, never go on the defensive and say, no, it totally works, I'm fine. You should always ask, how or why doesn't it work? And then from there...
I mean, even if they don't have an answer to that question.
Even if they don't have an answer to that question, just knowing that the problem is there will help you try and fix it. And often...
Just don't be an asshole about it.
Because this is something that I was saying about Corsican Fennec in Volume 5. And, like, because they talk about Corsican Fennec a lot. Yeah. Because they've had the idea since Volume 1. Corsican Fennec were like, they were supposed to be the main bad guy in Volume 1 instead of Torchwick. And that, like, was almost like a enlightening thing for them to say. Yeah. Because they've been thinking about these characters and we haven't. So they just kind of like bought into themselves. They're like, oh, it's like the wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool if these guys were there? But then they never actually wrote it. But they have this like really like, oh, these guys are so cool. And then they develop an entire like story arc for them where they're these guys who are like manipulating everything from behind the scenes. And they're in charge. They're secretly in charge. Like, yeah, sure, Adam's the boss, but it's like, no, these guys are the guys who are actually doing all the dirty work. Yeah. And then, at the big climax, then when they go and attack Yura and Callie, then they're there on the front lines. Like, oh, now it's serious. But for us, it's like we saw these guys in Volume 4, sure. And then we saw them taking orders from Adam, and then they went to attack Yura and Callie.
On orders
from Adam. It's like, well, we don't have any of that, like, scheming as, like, a background to inform their characters. Yeah. We just think, oh, these guys are like middle management, I guess. They don't really like Adam. They could be they're kind of like they kind of think he's as sketchy as we do.
They're talking about like a lot of the original ideas that they've wanted to flesh out and want to talk about. Like Miles made like a massive Twitter thread about the origin of Brunswick and the apathy grim and the inspiration for that and how that was conceptualized before Volume 1 was even written. And I remember in Volume 4 as well, they mentioned that the Geist Grim was supposed to be like what they wanted the Emerald Forest trials to be. Like they wanted that Grim to be in the Emerald Forest during Volume 1 as well. Yeah. So I mean, it's like you said, it's hard for us to kind of get that reinforcement that they've been building up and thinking about in their heads. It just comes across a lot differently, like once it's out there, because it's like you said, like Corsac and Fennec, we saw them once in Volume, we saw them a bit in Volume 4, and then they really, they, you know what I mean, like, and then they really kind of blossomed in Volume 5, but a lot of that scheming stuff was
just lost on the people who didn't, like, the audience, the people who weren't thinking about them for the entire time. Yeah. And I'm like, you can't ever underestimate someone, like an outsider. One of the stories that I wrote, 10, 12 years ago, I think. Oh God, I'm old. Like, I had this scene that I couldn't figure out where to put. Yep. And then I just decided that scene didn't have to exist at all. And I was thinking about it, because I was like, this is I need to, basically exposition dump these particular characters that I wrote to explain to the audience what their deal is. And it's just like, but that's kind of a boring scene, so I don't want to put it at the beginning. Yeah. I don't want to front load it. And then it's like, oh, there's this place like later on where I could like slot it in a more like natural way, but I'm like, it's still this boring scene where they just kind of talk about their job for like over a page. Yeah. And I'm like, And And then I'm just like, does anyone really need to know? And I gave the draft to one of my friends, and I was like, hey, do you get these guys' deal? Do you get it? Are you lost when you read scenes with these characters? And they were like, no, not really. I'm like, yeah, good. I don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
My favorite quotes is I'm sorry, my dear, if I had more time, I would have written you a shorter letter.
Yeah, was that like Oscar Wilde or somebody?
I think it was Grant, like Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah. Editing or like writing isn't done when there's nothing else to add. Writing is done when there's nothing else to take away.
Yeah.
But your quote is much more poetic and excellent.
First known instance in the English language was a sentence translated from a text written by French mathematician and philosopher Blaise Pascal. So it was Pascal that wrote that.
There you go.
Oh, cool. That's a great quote.
It is a great quote. It's one of my absolute favorites.
And it gets across that like elegance.
Yeah, elegance is more important than length. Like, you don't need 7 Harry Potter books.
Or do you? Harry Potter's really good. I like Harry Potter a lot.
Yes, well, that can be.
Yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah. So take that how you will.
Fat Man and I will just one day we'll finally.
I don't know. I like Harry Potter, but I like it. A lot has to do with nostalgia.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I like a bunch of books that are garbage.
Like mine.
Yeah, like Raymond's, which you can buy in the description right now.
Buy now.
Yeah.
Link below.
I see, like, but prose kind of escapes me the same way that music does, because when I'm watching a movie, right, like visual filmic language, I don't like dialogue. I think that the best movies have the least dialogue, right?
Oh, wow, you are like the opposite of me, because I adore good dialogue.
But, good dialogue, sure, but dialogue does not a good scene make. But I'm the exact opposite.
Like a diner scene.
Yes, yeah, exactly, like a diner scene. But I'm the opposite when it comes to books and stuff. When it, like, because I'm on Audible right now. I there was like 75% off an Audible subscription. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Oh, that sounds good.
And I'm listening to like free trials of, or like 5-minute free trials of audiobooks. And if I don't hear dialogue in that 5 minutes, I'm just like, no. I know it's highly rated, but this just didn't get me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like.
So you like seeing, Okay, so you like seeing descriptions and you like hearing words.
I like, yeah.
That's the thing, is like one of the most painful things for me as a writer is like writing description, because describing a fight scene is one of the most painful things on the planet, because you're like, usually, do you have any idea how many times a character during a skirmish will barrel roll? Not barrel roll, but like do like a roll to the side.
Do a tumble?
Do a tumble, like they'll tumble to the side. Do you have any idea how many punches will get thrown? How many times you have to like you have to determine, like, okay, do I have to be super specific with this? Do I need to like say, oh, it's going to be the left shoulder, or can I just say the shoulder, or can I just say he threw a couple punches? Can that that landed?
Yeah.
Can I truncate it, or do I have to get super specific? Like, you always have to fluctuate between that, and then when you do that, you always have to keep in mind not to repeat yourself with phrasing. Yeah. And that's so painful.
Repeating yourself, man, that's like something that's, like the picture is worth 1,000 words, but those 1,000 words gotta come from somewhere. Describing a scene, like an action scene in a book, you want to stick to something like the emotional impact of the scene. Describing, like, seeing excellent choreography is super fun.
Yeah.
Reading excellent choreography is like, what? Okay, that's great. But like, it's like you need to be like really kind of, you need to strike that balance between like the personal and the specific.
Yeah.
When you're describing something that's not dialogue in a book. And I've been trying to talk to Cloud Cuckoo Country. I messaged him once. He didn't get back to me about like what's like a book that's like really like well written. What's like the like which book can I read that will allow me to figure out what good writing actually sounds like or like reads like. I mean, see, I just said what good writing sounds like, which is probably like a wrong-headed mentality to take into like how did we get on talking about like written prose?
Because I'm promoting my book, which is available down in the description. Bringing it back.
It originated because of Miles and Carrie writing and being like overlooked by other people.
Yeah.
The writing process that goes into a scene that gets cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just shoring the fat. There were things that I've had in my books and stories that I've cut before. I mean, sometimes you just have to double back and you have to rewrite entire scenes from scratch just because you can't, it doesn't work how it is. I'm just thinking of like, I have a superhero novel series that I'm going to be rewriting from scratch, but I do have the first 2 books written, and I'm just looking at them, and there's a lot of these books that are literally they're just fluff. And it's not like good fluff where it's like cute and cuddly. It's literally just like action fluff.
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, oh, they fight. And they're fighting.
Yeah.
And there's no real emotional impact to it. And it's just sort of like things are happening because they need to happen, as opposed to things are happening because they are happening.
Yeah, I get that.
Miles is going to be on RWBY Rewind on Monday.
Whoops.
I might watch it.
So.
I don't know. I might watch it.
So I'll just try and sneak onto the set. I mean,
what do you guys think about Maria having Ultra Instinct as her semblance?
The reflexes thing, I
don't buy it for a second. She got her ass beat in that fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't feel right to me.
I mean, they should have. I don't know if they're gonna try to be like, she was tired from her fight with the Nevermore that took like 45 seconds out of her busy day.
What if she developed her semblance after that fight though, because of her lack of eyes?
Didn't she say didn't she say after that flashback scene that she like went into hiding and never fought again after that?
I went into hiding soon after.
You were a legend, and then you disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. She retired or something.
And she did directly reference the skills that she developed. Like she developed her reflexes and such for that, whatever.
See, I think a better way, a way they should have worded that particular semblance, they should have said that she can see the future, like she can see a couple seconds into the future.
Yeah, I thought it was like a clairvoyance in a way.
It would have made sense because if her vision, like her eyes could see like into the future, and then during this fight she would have just gone dark. She would have stopped being able to see before she actually got hit. No, like, you know what I mean?
I'm just trying to think, because there's so much there that it just bothers me how she got easily taken down with the whole reflexes thing, and like I'm wondering maybe she doesn't actually have super reflexes, because like it just seems to me like that's such a generic power.
Yeah. She called it preflex. Yeah. She mentions that her semblance is she can sense things better than most, and she can react to attacks almost before they happen.
Yes, but at the same time, when you think back to Pyrrha's explanation of aura back in Volume 1 of all things.
Have you ever felt like you were being watched without knowing that someone was there?
See, aura's been demoted to people's semblances.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, is that like aura was supposed to have sort of that precognitive thing to it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, her aura broke in that fight, so she wouldn't be able to use her semblance.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
God, I wish the rules were consistent in this series. See, I mean, that's one of the things that I said in my little Twitter rant about the fight from episode 7. I think like one of the ways I ended my Twitter rant was that RWBY just should just be hard rebooted. It should be started over from scratch.
Yes,
because like they have all this stuff, like all these ideas.
It's like if they knew then what they know now.
Yeah, kind of.
And I should totally be hired for it. What was that?
Exactly. What did you say? I don't know.
No,
Sounds like it certainly didn't sound like subliminal messaging to me.
It totally didn't. It's not like I should be like I have a Rooster Teeth. That is true. I think hard reboot because like if they manage to maintain this level of quality, I think RWBY would be way more popular than it is. And it's already pretty popular, but that's
I don't know about that. I don't know if it would be very much more popular than it is.
I would say you get at least double the viewership. I would say double.
That's wishful thinking. I mean, I think it would have held on to more of the people who are into like early stage Red versus Blue. Because I mean, that's my whole. That's the reason I exist, right? I came off of Red versus Blue. Like Red versus Blue. Like I saw season 1. I guess I saw season 1 like after season 2 had ended, like right when they started selling the DVDs, and it was just like, wow, this is like amazing. This is just everything that's good and great in the world, and then it just kept like I mean, not necessarily getting better from volume 1, but like it keeping that level of writing quality.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've officially exhausted all talking points because we're on not even RWBY at this point.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Just nostalgia.
Overall, it's good.
There wasn't like that much to talk about. I say 2 hours into the recording, but
oh gosh.
This episode was
it was a good like another good building episode, and I think
it was good.
Yeah.
I'm predicting episode 9 something is going to happen.
Yeah, because like Oscar and Ozpin are missing, so he probably like ran off after everything.
We'll have another 2 build-up episodes, or maybe episode 9 and 10 will have something happen. Then we'll have 2 or 3 build-up episodes to the finale.
Oh, we're not getting an episode on the
22nd. Oh.
I could imagine why we wouldn't get an episode on
That's the holiday break.
Nora was great this episode. I really liked how we got the whole like nationalist spiel from the commander at the Argus base. I liked how like she was racist and really suspicious of Blake.
Yeah. She's an extension of Atlas, so it works. I mean, I can only imagine what that place is like even more so now.
And like I kind of like that she's not like just flat out evil or anything. She's just kind of an asshole. Like it's so easy when you make people nationalist or racist, you just immediately make them automatically straight up evil. And she's just an asshole that's very militaristic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not doing this out of, well, she is a little spiteful, but
she's on a bit of a high horse too. She's like, Atlas is like better than everybody else. You guys should be bowing down to us. Everything we do is because of you, and look how people treat us. It's like, hello.
She skirts around lawful neutral, I think, but probably towards lawful evil. But anyway, that good episode. Looking forward to what more RWBY has to offer. Again,
yeah, I like it.
Volume 6 still chugging along. A lot of good hits.
I agree.
I mean, I wish this conversation about Silver Eyes was better. It was really long.
It needed to be a little more truncated, I think. But
yeah, if it was shorter, that would have been like Maria's semblance. I mean,
we'll see.
Taking into account that nothing in RWBY makes sense, I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do the unhappy honors of saying thank you all so much for joining us. If you want, you can join me and Fatman on Patreon. We have a Discord server available to anyone that donates at least $1 or more, any one given point.
Yes.
You get in, we talk, we converse regularly. MurderofBirds is actually in there too, because he's a supporter.
Yeah.
So you can occasionally chat up with him too. Support him as well. Do you have a Patreon, Murder?
Yes. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch. I do all my RWBY content on YouTube, youtube.com/MurderofBirds. I also do have a Patreon, which also I have access, that gives access to my Discord server. We're a happy bunch there. Everyone's talking about RWBY in there right now, actually. But yeah, I'm around as well, and that's something else that I offer if people want to support me in that way.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
And count one more time for the people in the back. Buy my book. Thank you all so much for watching. Catch you all on the flip side.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
I've heard the shout out Floof. Oops. Sorry, Floof.
And Floof has a Patreon too.